Today's video is about the best health and nutrition practices for balancing your hormones. Specifically for my women, we all go through the menstruation cycle every single month. There are weeks where you feel tired, there's weeks where you feel motivated, there's weeks where you feel very active and have a lot of energy, and all of that is based off of your menstruation cycle. When you understand each phase, then you're kind of able to work with your hormones and your emotions and your feelings and everything else. You can kind of control that a little bit more. So that's what we're talking about in today's video. We're also going to talk about different ways that you can feel better during the times where you feel tired or you feel depressed or anxious or you feel bad or shitty. We're going to go through all of that. We're going to talk about every single phase, and we're going to talk about what happens during the phases and what we can do to improve each and every one of those phases, okay? So first and foremost, we're going to talk about the 4 phases, okay? The menstruation cycle starts when you start bleeding, when your time of the month comes. That's when it starts, and that is the menstrual phase, okay? From day 1 to 5 is the menstrual phase. After that, we get into more of the follicular phase, and that is a part of the menstrual phase, but it continues on until we get to the ovulation phase. And then when you get to the ovulation phase, then eventually you go to the luteal phase. So those are the 4 phases, and we're going to talk about each one. The menstrual phase, which is day 1 to 5. Symptoms for the menstrual phase includes fatigue, bloating, menstrual cramps, and headaches. All of these things happen. You have lower energy levels. You tend to be a little bit more physically uncomfortable during this phase. We all know how it is when it's our time of the month. That's how we're supposed to be. Our emotional state normally involves mood swings, irritability, fatigue, and common emotional things. We already know about that, right? That's something that I feel like most women do know about, is our menstrual phase, okay? Now, before I do continue, I do want to say that these symptoms don't apply to everybody, depending on your health practices and what you do on a daily basis, whether that be smoking cigarettes or drinking a lot of alcohol or, you know, eating unhealthy foods, which we'll get into a little bit later in this video. Depending on your health conditions now kind of determines how your menstruation cycle will be, okay? So next is the follicular phase, which is from days 1 to 14. This is part of the menstrual phase as well. And during the follicular phase, you start to get a little bit more of your energy back. You start feeling more motivated and kind of physically capable. You're able to do more. You feel better. I know for me, normally that starts around day 3 for me during my menstrual phase. Like after like the first and second day of my menstrual cycle, I start to feel a little bit more motivated. I'm not leaking as much as normal, and it's just all around better for me. Like it tends to only last 2 days for me. But like I said, everybody's different. It depends on your health practices. But the follicular phase is from day 1 to 14. This is when you get more energy. You also, when it comes to your emotional state, you start to feel more sociable. You feel like you want to actually be around people, you know, and you're way more emotionally balanced, okay? The third phase is the ovulation phase. Now, the ovulation phase is when you are probably, I want to say, the most horniest, okay? During the ovulation phase, this is when you start to feel like a little bit of mild abdominal cramps, just a little bit of discomfort around this time. So I know I used to be really confused about that, because I used to be like, is my time of the month coming? Like, no, I'm just going through my ovulation phase. When you start getting really horny and you start feeling like your abdominal area is like feeling a little weird, okay, that's just the ovulation phase, okay? It's completely normal. Your breasts probably get a little tender, definitely a lot of moisture down there at that time, okay? Your emotional state, you'll probably feel more confident, sociable, outgoing. You have increased levels of estrogen. Just during this time, you have to be careful if you do not want to get knocked up. This is the best time to use protection, because if you do not use protection and something happens, this is the most like time that you will probably get knocked up, okay? So keep that in mind next time you know you're going through your ovulation phase, that you might want to slow down on not using protection. Last but not least is the luteal phase. Now this is when you get your PMS. This is honestly when you start feeling a little depressed, you start feeling a little anxious, you just are all over the place. You're experiencing a lot of PMS and fatigue during this time. Although that does happen during the menstrual phase, it definitely starts in the luteal phase. This is why sometimes you'll get irritated or you'll cry randomly, and then you're just like, oh, my time of the month's probably about to start. Like, this is that time. Seriously, I think this is one of the craziest. I think this is almost worse than the menstrual phases when it comes to experiencing, if it's like a bad experience. I think this is one of the like most difficult phases to deal with, just because you deal with like a lot of emotions, and then you're like, my time of the month isn't here, so I don't know why I'm acting like this. No, that's just premenstrual symptoms. This is why it's called PMS. It's premenstrual symptoms, and that's the luteal phase. That's when all of that stuff happens. So believe me when I say this phase is something that you are going to want to work with. So now that you know the 4 phases of the menstruation cycle, now we can talk about what to do during each part of your cycle and how you can use that to make you feel better. We're going to be talking about different health and nutrition practices that you can be doing and incorporating into your diet, into your daily life, so that you can feel less like shit. So starting with the follicular phase, okay, this is the time where you need the most iron. A lot of people lack iron anyway. If you are a meat eater, then this is a great time to eat lean meats. It's a great time to eat poultry, salmon, of course, fish, beans, lentils. Next, you're also going to need vitamin C. Some examples can be fruits, broccoli, leafy greens, strawberries, bell peppers. All of this can enhance iron absorption. Next, ovulation phase around day 14. You need to take in a lot of calcium and vitamin D. This is important if you want to experience less cramping, less PMS. This is important around the ovulation phase. Outside of the well-balanced diet, you should really focus on dairy products, okay, so milk, yogurt, my favorite, leafy greens, tofu. For vitamin D, I would focus on standing out in the sun. Don't be caught up in the house during this time. Get some sunlight and make sure that you are getting at least 2 hours of sunlight every day. The 10 minutes, 20 minutes a day is not going to cut it if you want your vitamin D. Make sure you're going outside because that will help you balance your hormones when it comes to your PMS, okay? Also around the ovulation phase, it is best to focus on your omega-3 fatty acids. So this can be salmon, sardines, mackerel, flax seeds, chia seeds, walnuts. All of these have anti-inflammatory properties that will help you in this phase. I think the ovulation phase is one of the most important parts to take care of during their cycles so that you can avoid any issue in the luteal or menstrual phase. Moving on to the luteal phase, it's best if you focus on magnesium. Magnesium helps with your PMS as well. Now, ultimately, you need to focus on hydration and drinking water. No matter what part of the cycle you are in, you always need to consume as much water as possible. Stay as hydrated as possible and get as much water in as possible. Keep your focus on hydration and a balanced diet. We're going to talk about health and nutrition practices that you can take right now on a daily basis so that you can avoid these hormonal imbalances during your menstruation cycle. First and foremost, you need to focus on whole foods like spinach or leafy greens or fruits or vegetables. Another thing that you can do on a daily basis is to include your healthy fats, okay? Start including sardines and salmon and things like that into your diet. Things such as avocados. I'm not a huge fan of avocados, but things like avocados, nuts, seeds, olive oil, fatty fish. This is what helps with your balanced diet. The next thing you should do on a daily basis is make sure that you're getting the proper amount of protein intake, okay? Me personally, I am in the process of gaining muscle mass, and because I'm gaining muscle mass, I focus a lot on protein. If you need help with protein, go through my videos. I have tons of different meals and snack ideas that you can implement into your daily routine. That's simple, easy, quick, to the point, and you can implement them right away. Now, depending on your weight, your height, things like that, your protein intake can vary, so make sure that you do the right research to figure out how much protein you personally need for your body. I know a great app that I use is called MyFitnessPal. MyFitnessPal, it helps you figure out how much protein that you need to be taking, how much macronutrients you need to be including into your diet, pretty much all the 9. You need to go ahead and download the MyFitnessPal app. They definitely will help you out. I know before I was paying attention to my protein intake, I was probably taking at least like 60 to 70 grams of protein every day, which is so low. You need to be having, I know it's like 130 and above. You should not have less than, like, I don't know, I'm not your doctor, I don't know how your body is, but you have to remember to make sure you're eating your protein, guys. Next, this is easy, something that you can implement into your daily habits. This is something you already know. You can't be eating so much sugar and processed foods. All of that is gonna make you feel like shit. When you aggressively eat so much sugar and processed foods, that makes you weak. That lowers your energy levels, and it also does not help at all with your hormonal imbalances. So you have to pay attention to that. Fried foods, processed foods, going out to eat. Learn how to cook your own food, okay? Just learn. I see so many videos every single day. Like, my feed is full of cooking videos. So many fun ideas. You can make cooking so fun if you really wanted to, you know? So just try to incorporate cooking just more into your diet. Another thing that you should be doing daily is managing your portions. If you know that you need to be eating less, try finding smaller plates. You're not eating excessively for no reason, okay? So definitely manage your portions. Another daily habit you should be doing is drinking water and staying hydrated, staying as hydrated as possible. That is very important. That is the best way to keep your energy up on a daily basis, by having water with you 24/7, drinking that water as much as you can. Whenever you get bored, whenever you think about it, whenever you think about your ex, whenever you think about anybody, drink your water, okay? Just drink it. Just stay as hydrated as you can, and I guarantee you, you will feel so much better during your luteal and menstrual phase. Be mindful of your eating. I always see people eating like they have no fucking control. It's like they swallow it whole, like, you know, and they don't take the time to actually chew and experience the eating in general. I don't know if you've ever seen Ratatouille, but there's a scene where I think the rat or whoever it is tells the person that they need to chew more slowly. It's so helpful for digestion. Just take your time and eat it slowly. Embrace the taste, embrace how everything is just going through your body. Don't take advantage of that. Don't gobble your food. I see that all the time. Like, just slow down. Try to find a better time throughout your day to eat. Have like at least 30 minutes so you're able to just eat your food well and not just swallow the whole thing whole, okay? Like, that's ridiculous. Something else that I want to talk about with digestion is to drink lemon water. I think drinking lemon water every single morning is a great way to help with your digestion, as well as kombucha and probiotics, things like that, so that everything is easier to consume, especially if you are eating more or eating more protein, whatever the case is. You want to make sure that you're digesting properly, or else this is all pointless. All in all, you guys, incorporating all of these things that I've talked about in this video is going to help you during your cycle. It's going to help you during your menstruation cycle, and it's going to be amazing. I want you guys to feel amazing and have energy and eat right and make sure you're feeling right on a daily basis. When you don't eat right and when you don't have the proper health and nutrition practices into your day, that's when depression and anxiety and all of these things pop up. You start allowing things into your life that don't need to be there, like just toxic people, toxic situations. Keep your body, your mind, your soul, your spirit clean. Make sure you incorporate healthy habits every single day so that you can stay energized and so you can stay happy and so that you can just live life without feeling like shit. Everything goes back to what you're eating and consuming and putting into your body on a daily basis, but also it's important to focus on the different phases of your cycle so that when that phase comes, you already know what's going to happen. We know that the luteal phase is one of the toughest phases, so we know during that time we need to take magnesium and vitamin D. So it's very important to understand the menstruation cycle. I'm very proud of you for clicking on this video and learning what you need to learn about your body, because it's super important. You're gonna have this body forever. I'll see you guys in the next video.